Joshua stood upon a high ridge, the wind whipping through his garments as he gazed over the vast expanse of Canaan. The land trembled beneath his feet, for the Lord had delivered Jericho and Ai into his hands. The cities had fallen like sand before a tide, and now fear gripped the hearts of Canaan's kings. They whispered of war, forging unholy alliances to crush the rising might of Israel. But amidst the clamor of swords and shields, another force moved, one not of strength, but of deception. From the city of Gibeon came envoys, their robes tattered, their sandals worn to the sole. Their faces were lined with dust, their hands clutching wineskins cracked and bread turned to mold. They knelt before Joshua, their voices trembling with feigned humility. "We have come from a far land," they pleaded. "We have heard of the might of your God, of the wonders he has wrought. We beg you, make a covenant with us, that we may serve in peace." Joshua studied them, the elders of Israel murmuring beside him. Their story seemed plausible, their evidence undeniable, and so, without seeking the counsel of the Lord, Joshua swore by the name of the Most High, the Gibeonites would live. The pact was sealed. 3 days later, the truth unfurled like a dark storm cloud. The Gibeonites were no distant wanderers, they were neighbors, inhabitants of the very land Israel was meant to claim. Fury coursed through the camp as the warriors of Israel cried out for justice. But Joshua, bound by his oath, silenced them. "We have sworn by the name of the Lord," he declared. "We cannot break our word." Yet, justice would not be denied. The Gibeonites would not be slain, but neither would they be free. They would serve as woodcutters and water bearers, bound to labor for Israel and the altar of the Lord. But the tale of treachery spread like wildfire, reaching the ears of 5 mighty kings, rulers of Jerusalem, Hebron, Jarmuth, Lachish, and Eglon. They seethed with wrath at Gibeon's betrayal. They gathered their vast armies, swords gleaming in the sun, their banners darkening the horizon. Gibeon trembled. From their city, messengers fled in the night, breathless and desperate, arriving at Joshua's feet in Gilgal. "Come," they gasped, "save your servants. The kings of the Amorites march against us." Joshua's jaw clenched. He turned his gaze heavenward, seeking the voice of the Almighty. And the Lord answered, "Do not fear them. I have delivered them into your hands. Not one shall stand against you." With divine fire burning in his heart, Joshua led his warriors on an all-night march, a silent storm racing through the valleys. As dawn broke over Gibeon's walls, Israel descended upon the enemy like a wrathful tempest. The Amorites, caught in their arrogance, crumbled beneath the fury of the Lord's chosen. Swords clashed, arrows flew, and the ground was stained with the blood of kings. But the battle was not yet won. The enemy fled, scattering like leaves before the wind. Joshua would not allow them to escape. As his warriors pursued, the heavens themselves took up the fight. From above, the Lord unleashed a storm of hailstones, each a hammer of divine judgment. More perished beneath the wrath of the sky than by the blades of Israel. Yet the day waned, and Joshua knew, if darkness fell, the enemy might slip away. He could not allow it. Raising his arms to the heavens, his voice thundered across the battlefield. "Sun, stand still over Gibeon. Moon, halt over the valley of Ajalon." And the Lord obeyed. The sun did not set. The moon did not rise. Time itself bent before the will of the Almighty, and daylight stretched unnaturally long, granting Joshua the victory. The Amorite kings, once so proud, fled to a cave in Macedon, their crowns weighed with terror. But there would be no sanctuary. Joshua commanded the cave to be sealed, trapping them like beasts awaiting slaughter. Only when the battle was finished were they dragged forth, their once mighty forms humbled in the dust. Joshua's commanders stood over them, swords drawn, eyes burning with righteous fire. "Place your feet upon their necks," Joshua commanded, his voice resolute. And they obeyed, pressing the kings beneath their heels, a symbol of utter conquest. Joshua raised his sword to the heavens. "Do not fear. Be strong and courageous, for thus shall the Lord do to all who rise against his people." And with those words, the kings fell, their reigns ending in blood and dust. One by one, Israel marched upon the cities of the south, Libnah, Lachish, Eglon, Hebron, Debir. No fortress could stand, no army could resist. The Lord fought for Israel, and Joshua, the servant of the Almighty, led his people in conquest. The land of Canaan shuddered beneath their march, for the hand of God was upon them, and no enemy could withstand his might.